What's up, YouTube family? Today I've come to Ponga because in this place, in this wonderful spot, some of you who have seen videos on the channel have been amazed by the landscape and the people who live in these places. But for those of you who are new, I encourage you to stay and watch the video because I assure you that you're going to get to know what a traditional Asturian village is like. I'm in a place where, because of how rugged and wild the area is, the villages have remained frozen in time. We'll also see unique features not found in other Asturian villages, like the Orrios Belluscos, which differ from the usual Orrios seen in Asturias or in traditional images, since Asturias is often promoted with the Orrio. These Orrios are quite different, and I think you're really going to like them. I've arranged to meet with Mariano because those of you who are regulars on the channel already know that being in Ponga, I couldn't miss meeting up with him. He also knows the people who live in this village, which are very few now. It's practically becoming completely abandoned. Very few people have decided to stay here. And I want you to see, I'm going to give you a little preview of where I am. I want you to be amazed. I mean, the road here is in pretty bad shape, I have to say, and we'll talk about that later, but this is just a preview so you can see where I am. So anyway, I want to tell you that if you like the content, remember to subscribe to the channel. It's completely free and it helps me a lot. I'll also leave you my social media for those of you who want to stay a bit more up to date with things I don't upload to YouTube, and let's get to it. Well, family, I'm here now and I have Mariano and someone new with me. Last time I wanted to meet up with him, but I couldn't. You're Enol, right? Yes. How are you, Enol?
Good.
I'm Alvaro. Nice to meet you. I wanted to meet you before, but I came early with your grandfather since you're his grandson.
Yes.
It has to be said, and I really wanted you to speak here on the channel because I think you have a lot to say. As a kid, you have a lot of things to share. So I'll ask you some things later. Mariano, how are you?
Good, good.
I wanted to see you, not just me, but everyone on the channel asks about you. It's amazing. I travel around Asturias and people always ask about you. I've even been stopped at a gas station and I said, well, look, I'm actually going to meet, well, not meet, but see Mariano again because I'm going to get to know a village in detail since I've already been here before Mariano, and I was really impressed because honestly, this village is frozen in time. It's spectacular, really. Well, the people who are seeing the little houses and the surroundings that you've already shown a bit before must be amazed. We're in Bivoli. Bivoli, which was a village, well, very similar to yours, right? Yes, it was still standing. Well,
What happens is that this one had more inhabited houses. I mean, it was more compact because Casillo and where I come from are more spread out with neighborhoods farther apart, but this one was more compact.
yes, it's basically divided into two neighborhoods, right? It's like one down here and another one up there. Here.
It's Lower Bivoli down here and Bivoli Alto up there.
We'll go up to the one above later since that's my favorite area. I don't want to spoil it. We'll see it as we go.
The whole village is nice, but the upper part has a little more charm.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is go down here to get into the village a bit, and if you agree, we'll check out the unique features, the houses, so people can get to know it in detail and decide if they want to visit later on. So let's go down and show it a little more.
Let's go down.
Well, we're entering the village proper, and we're going to see the traditional houses that have always been here. Look at these kittens. They all get scared. Look, huh? Look at the kittens. They're so well cared for, right? Such tiny little things. It's incredible. Look how amazing this is, huh? Here we already have, look, the Orrio we were talking about, Mariano, because, well, let's mostly let the person who lives here in this village talk in the video. But I wanted to mention the Orrio Bellusco, which is this type of Orrio with a gabled roof, okay? It doesn't have four sides, right? That's the main difference, isn't it?
Exactly, yes. That's why they're so well known as Orrios Belluscos, and they have that peculiarity of having two slopes, not like others that have four, which makes them quite different.
And the size above all is different because here they were smaller, right? Usually. Yes.
Smaller, much smaller. Well, I don't know if it was because of space issues or because they didn't need larger spaces because...
Well, the harvest, I imagine, was smaller.
To store the harvest. Well, look, the houses here, as you can see, are really tiny, huh?
Yes, that's what I had noticed.
There were people who had to sleep in the Orrios.
But it's impressive. I know some of you are amazed because I live in Asturias and I'm amazed to see the little chickens, the cats, this corner here, which I think I'm going to get a little closer to. Let's get closer here, Mariano, so they can see it. Because for me, this little corner here is the one that really takes you back to Asturias from many years ago, you know? Yes, of course. Look.
Very typical, seeing chickens, seeing espelmos.
I can already see the few remaining villagers, right, Mariano? These are the people you wanted to introduce me to since they're among the last who still live here, right? Yes, yes, how are you? My name is Alvaro. What's your name, Balbina? Balbina, yes. Nice to meet you, Balbina. And your name is Manolo. Manolo, nice to meet you, Manolo. Well, I came here because I wanted to get to know your village, since it really caught my attention that there are so few inhabitants here, okay? It's something that personally doesn't surprise me because I visit a lot of abandoned villages, but it did catch my attention that there are still people your age who have decided to stay here and not give in and say, well, I'm going to the city where there's a doctor and everything is close by, like most people do.
No, el que hay que quedar aquí.
Of course, because you like living here in the village, I imagine, right?
I have a kitchen over there.
And how many years have you been living here?
Many.
A lot? Yes.
All my life.
All your life, huh? All of it, yes. It's impressive. I was born here. You were born here? Yes. I had visited before and fell in love with this town. I couldn't meet you then since I was just passing through, but I loved it. It was a place where I said, in fact, I wasn't even making videos yet, you know, when I discovered this town. But I said, if one day I ever record something, I have to come to this town. Thanks to Mariano, whom I met in the neighboring town and who showed us around. I'll leave the video in the description, along with all my videos with Mariano from this area. I think you'll really enjoy them. Most of all, I wanted to talk to your brother, right? Yes, he has much to share, so I hope to see him later. Yes, yes. And for him to talk to us a little about some topics I had discussed with him over the phone, which I found super interesting. Yes, yes. Have you always been here, or did you work here? Yes.
Pretty much, yes. I was born in the same town as Mariano.
Oh, you were born in Mariano's town? In Miamon, right? He never mentioned that. So how and why did you come here, Marta?
We went to Argentina, then came here.
So you were in someone who emigrated from Asturias? Yes.
A little, but yes.
But you came? There's some of the few I know who have returned. At least I've spoken to people who came back. And I imagine that a lot of houses have been left abandoned here because people have emigrated, right? They've left the village. Yes.
Yes, yes, the old people died and the others left, the young ones.
Of course, yes.
That's the thing.
Because there's not much future here, right?
Cattle. There used to be more cattle. There were goats. There were sheep. And you?
For example, how did you make a living mainly here in this town?
Working with cattle.
With the cows? Livestock farming. Do you still enjoy it?
Hunting and all that.
And do you like it? Do you still like it?
Yes.
But it's hard now, you know? Yes, it's very, very hard.
Yeah.
Well, of course, because for young people, it's not an easy job. You're already retired, yes, but young people don't want to do it, huh? No, no, because it's a difficult job. No, no. What do you think? I'm interested in talking to you since you're young. Do you like the village? Do you like living here? Yes. Do you come in the summer or stay all year with your grandfather? Yes.
I only come in the summer.
And how would you describe life here? Do you like it? Do you like the city more? Yes.
I like the village more because you're out here in the open air. No one bothers you. You're with the animals and the air is good.
Fresh air, huh? There's something I wanted to ask you about that really interests me. Friends. Here in the village, there aren't many friends, right? Because I don't see many kids. I think you're alone, right? Yes. Do you want people to come so you can have friends here and have fun? Yes. Of course, it's difficult because we're seeing that there's quite a lot of abandonment in the villages and it's a shame. In my videos, I always try to encourage people like you to come here, even so the schools could reopen, because what would you prefer? To go to school here or in the city? Here. Here, huh? You'd like that, huh? Yes. Can you picture getting a girlfriend in a nearby village and going to see her? How old are you in all? 12? 12? Well, you're already grown up, huh? Yeah. You're in middle school now, right? Yes. Are you starting now for sure? Are you starting this year or did you already start? I already started. You already started. And how's it going?
Good.
What do you want to do when you grow up? Will you come live in the village or what are you going to do?
Biology and animals.
Is that what you would like? Yes. Would you like to return to the village or do you think you can't because of the current situation?
No, I will go back.
You're going back, right? You fully decided? Yes. I love that attitude and people like you.
From here to there.
Between now and then, you never know, but it could happen, you know?
It changes, but oh well.
Here you had that school.
Yes, yes, that one.
That one's up there in the upper part of town, right? We'll visit it later, and I'll probably ask your brother about that area. How many people and children were here? There were.
About 30, right? Okay.
Yes, or 17 at most, from what I know.
17, huh? Yes. And did the school close a long time ago? Or, yes, many years ago, huh? Yes. And did it close because people emigrated?
Yes, there were no students left at the school. It must have been around 82, something like that.
People died and left. No, before, because here, no.
Como
Oh.
76 or...
And here, nothing anymore? There's no future, huh?
Exactly, there's no future.
Of course. There's also another issue I'll discuss with your brother. The road is very neglected. That surprised me. I mean, there are quite a few issues that, I don't know, I think it's normal for people to leave these villages because the road is really in bad shape, honestly.
With the access it has, it's not bad, of course.
Yeah, I can imagine. What I love is that you have a lot of animals, right? You have dogs, you have chickens, you have everything, right? We have everything. What animals do you have here now?
I have chickens and cats.
And cats, they're the ones you like, right? The chickens, huh? I have chickens too and love them.
I have 4.
4, I have 3. One of mine died. I had 4, but now one is gone. Yes. Sí, pues sí. Well, I'm going to show a bit more of your town around here, and then I'm going to go up and talk to your brother, okay? Let's see what he can tell us. The beer? We'll have it later, yes. Okay, I'll accept it. Yes. Later, when we're done, we'll come by here and have a beer, okay? All right, we'll keep going this way. Nice to meet you and see you later, okay? Bye.
Bye.
You brought me here, Mariano, because this is the old wash house where everyone in town used to wash their clothes, right?
Exactly. It's right there. It has the yeah.
They washed their clothes here, huh? I imagine the water had to be really cold, huh? It comes straight down from the mountain, right?
But here it was so cold it would peel the skin off your hands. The water came, I mean.
Poor women, I can imagine how much their hands must have hurt from washing clothes.
Women back then, from the villages and all that, they really had it hard with all the work, taking care of the house, taking care of the whole family, doing work outside, and then washing the clothes, of course.
Yes, it was incredible, really.
It was tremendous work that the poor women did here.
I didn't want to miss the chance to ask, what do you think about seeing this? From knowing washing machines to seeing this, huh? I already knew about them from here. You already knew about them. But can you imagine washing clothes here? Yes.
They already showed me videos.
They showed you, but you never tried? No. Well, one day you should try. You need to learn the tradition and wash clothes here. If the power goes out or we want to avoid relying on electric companies, we come here to wash clothes. I think I'll come live with you here. When you grow up, I'll move to one of these villages. I'm telling you, you'll see.
Yeah, Mom, when there's no washing machine, we have to wash by hand.
You wash it by hand? Look, that's better. You save money that way, right? Why should we depend on the electric companies and all that? In the end, it's money they take from us and time we need to earn it. Yeah. Right?
Honestly, it washes better by hand than in the machine.
It probably turns out better. I haven't been as lucky as you to know that because I grew up in a village, not a real town, so I never experienced it. I really admire everything your grandfather is teaching you, especially since the video can't capture all this great man is passing on to you. Your grandfather is a wonderful person, and I'm being honest. He's teaching you important values for children. That way, when people ask, you can say the town is important. That nature matters, that contact with nature matters. Not all children talk about this, and I love it, and I really love meeting you. I'm telling you the truth, just so you know. What do you think about showing me a part of the town that we saw has a washing machine, right? Yes. There's a part of the town here that has one.
Well, it has the base at the bottom.
Well, I want to see it.
About the top part, I don't know if there's anything left up there, because it was a wooden bucket. That was where they put the clothes. Then they would put a cloth on top and pour the ash in, because ash always produces that thing from which energy is taken. Natural amalencia. That's used a lot for natural herbicides and all that.
Explain to me how it worked, because I think I'm seeing it around here, right? It's this thing right here.
It's this stone right here. The stone, as you can see, has all of this so that it catches the water and it falls there. So it was placed at an angle so that the water would fall there. Then after that, a wooden bucket was placed here, which was made from a fairly large tree trunk. They completely hollowed it out. They just left, well, nothing but the walls, that's it. And that's where they put the clothes. Then they would put a big cloth over the top opening, and that's where they would pour the ashes. And then they would pour hot water with a pot, heating it on the wood stove, which is what people used to have around here in the villages. and that would disinfect and dissolve the dirt from the clothes very well. Well, they were...
Incredible. In short, they would put a wooden barrel here, put the clothes in with a cloth on top to filter, and wash the clothes. And what came out was basically lye water. Yeah, well, water with ash.
Besides that water, that's why I'm telling you, it left the clothes so soft and with such a pleasant smell. It was really something.
You remember it, right?
Those sheets, those clothes that you used to put on and all that, it was amazing, right? Not like now when everything is based on chemical soaps and, well...
Seeing how you smile, I can imagine that seeing this brings back some amazing memories for you.
Right? Well, after they washed the clothes, they would drain the clothes here in the draining basin, which is called a...
Coladero.
Then after that, they would take the clothes, spread them out on a big flat stone, and then, well, they would go back again to the fountain over there to the wash area to give them the final rinses.
That's great, that's great.
And that's why I tell you, well, it was wonderful, incredible, those scents, incredible, those scents that you just don't have anymore.
I would like to smell it, but I grew up in another generation.
That softness of the clothes, well, that was incredible.
This is like the central square, right? Yes, of the town. Well...
Let's see, there was a raised granary here too, which had already collapsed, and then, well, this here through the town hall, they paved it, and, well, not the town hall, this part here was done by the park. Because here we are in the Ponga Natural Park. Yes, and the Biosphere Reserve. So, well, some funds came in because this village is classified as, I can't remember exactly how, but it's classified as something, an emblematic thing to preserve.
Asset of cultural interest? Exactly, that might be it, I think.
More or less similar, and so, like I said, they did this here.
Good to know. The wood really catches my eye. I've seen it in other towns, but it's stacked and protected so well here. What a beautiful sight.
It's just that here in winter you have to be stocked up because if there's a bit of a snowstorm, it can drop over a meter of snow, and of course you have to be prepared and ready.
I can tell people here are still cautious, right?
But this isn't something new. This goes back to ancient times.
Well, yeah, right? I can imagine. That's the feeling I get when I see it, you know?
Of course.
It catches my attention, Mariano, the huge mountain we have up here, you know?
Yes, well, as you can see, there's this whole hill here, which is a hill that, well, behind it there used to be a mine. I think it was a copper mine. And this part here, when there are electrical storms with lightning, what we call thunder and all that, it attracts a lot of lightning strikes to that rock because, of course...
The mineral, right?
Minerals attract each other. Impressive. They attract that electricity produced by the clouds and everything.
That. It must be impressive. So you see a storm here, huh?
Here, sometimes you see it looks like they come down like I suppose, a spear with a flame.
Wow. Incredible. Yes. Did this village have electricity, Mariano? I didn't ask him. Yes, I'll ask the other brother later.
And I figure it was about 70 or 70-something years ago, there was a power plant that was run by water. I mean, hydroelectric. The thing is, well, now there's very little left of the power plant, and now it's all overgrown with bushes.
Can you show roughly where it was, so we can also highlight this place?
Yes, here behind, right here, a bit over there, but like I said, look, you see how everything is overgrown over there?
Yes, the overgrowth is really bad.
We can hardly get over there anymore. Right. Well, there's not much left of the plant anyway, and there's very little left. That was the downpipe where the turbine was attached to move the dynamo, and the dynamo isn't there anymore either. Well, that's it, well.
So you had power, right? At least 125 volts.
Yes, 125 volts back in those days.
I'll ask him later when they got the electricity they have now, since that's what interests me.
In Viboli, I don't know how many years it's been, maybe yes.
Better than what?
To tell now.
Yes, he probably already knows. If you want, we can go to the other part of the village and show him.
Let's go to Viboli Alto.
Come on, let's go over there. Let's go. Let's go. Well, look, I'm already in Viboli, in the upper part of Viboli, and it's this area here that's so beautiful that honestly it really captivated me with the mountain scenery here. Mariano went to find the gentleman I want to speak with, who will share details about the granaries and other topics for this video. But look, this was the school the lady told us about. Now it's been restored a bit more. I'm going to give you a brief look around while Mariano gets here. At least we can see it a little bit from here in the distance. This was the old school. Well, as you can see, it's a bit more renovated than this whole part here, which, as you can see, is much, much, much more abandoned. It's a shame because some houses are already completely in ruins. Let's check them out over here. Here's the chapel. Later, I'll ask which saint it's dedicated to and if they still hold festivals. It's a topic I want to talk about, but look how sad, what a shame to see these houses completely in ruins here in this paradise. They've even put a recycling point here. Look at how the grass dries here in this area and how much pasture there is around here for keeping livestock. It's just amazing, really. I don't know if the image truly captures the essence of this place. I think you'll have to come here for that. It's all surrounded by mountains, and look, let's explore this area here while they get here. These are the old paths that used to be in this village, which the locals still keep trimming, as you can see, so at least they stay open. But look at how charming these streets are. It's amazing. I could spend hours walking through Asturian villages to show their essence, but everywhere you look, it's all neglect. Today I'm wearing shorts, but I didn't expect to go through these places, so I'm going to try to get in through the street around the corner and try to show you this street here, which is the one I saw when I came the first time, and it's the one I fell in love with the most. Perfect. Just one thing. Look, I already see them coming. I've noticed there's a traditional Orrio here with a four-sided roof right here. And here we have a clear example of the other type of Orrio, the Bellusco, but here in general, all the Orrios were very, very small. Its construction was quite unique. I mean, for me, it's quite unique because it's much smaller than the ones I usually find elsewhere. And well, let's see if the street is open and I can show you this here. It's the other little street that I knew. Yes, this is more open now because it was concreted and now it's a bit better. At least I can get in. Here there's a house with its old wooden balcony. It's clothesline, which I imagine people here use. Look, you can see the oven there. I can't really go much further here because there's a plant that really hurts your skin. There are more small houses here, but they're all abandoned. It's a shame. I'm going to head over since I saw them coming. Let's see what they can tell us about this village. Here you are. Since Mariano went to look for you, my name is Hylox Aventura. Mariano couldn't find you. What's your name? Simon. Nice to meet you, Simon. Likewise. I was eager to talk to you since you were my phone contact to arrange my visit here, and I know you have a lot to share about the village. You've already spoken to some, including your brother and another neighbor here. Go ahead, tell me.
I have a lot of complaints to make.
More complaints than, well...
The history of the town, some things, I have some facts. I live and have lived in the town almost all my life, but I'm not originally from here. I was born in Beabon.
In Beabon, the same town as Mariano, your brother said you were both born there.
But anyway, we've lived here since 1971, when my parents knew I was emigrating to Argentina, and they came back. When they returned, they came to live here in Beabon. I went to school here until 1977. When I left again, I went to Argentina and lived there until 2003.
Wow, you were in Argentina until recently? Many people from Argentina watch us, so maybe someone will recognize you. Yeah, I know. So many had to leave.
So many people. And from this town in particular, a lot of people. Every family had relatives in Argentina. Every family. Argentina, Chile, some to Mexico. At first, some had gone to Cuba, but most went to Argentina. And I was one of the last ones who went.
Yes, I think I hadn't met anyone that recent. No,
look, I more or less had contact there with the people who were leaving. And right when I went, 2 or 3 other guys went too. One was from Capocaso and another from here, from Sabarga. But not many more. Not many more, huh? No, from around 1965, 1970 and onwards, no one went.
Of course, that was what they called the rural exodus when everyone left the villages.
They used to go to Argentina, and later the reason for going to Argentina was mostly because of family. People would arrive in Argentina, then bring over nephews or brothers and so on. Beginning in the 1960s, people from this area started moving to Belgium.
To Belgium by then, huh?
To Belgium, Germany, that's where most of the people went. From around 1960, only a few went to Argentina.
It's sad that part of Asturias' history was that we had to leave. I think we'll have to leave again because there's little future here for young people. People tell me that's not true, but I visit the villages and talk a lot. It really saddens me that these villages are in this state. The image behind you says it all. There could be a great future here.
Nothing, but it's been completely and absolutely abandoned by the authorities. The few people who live here are mostly elderly, and in my case, I'm here because it suits me. I'm sick, I have the disease, multiple sclerosis and so on, and it's great for me to be here. It really benefits me and so on. And the peace and quiet. If people knew about these things, maybe it could be a way to attract people. But then we have neglect, terrible infrastructure. We don't have any kind of communication, mobile coverage.
I lose all coverage as soon as I enter Ponga.
There was a moment 2 or 3 years ago when there was some signal, but we've had no coverage for 2 years, zero.
Coverage? Well, honestly, it's a shame.
For television, for example, thanks to some satellite dishes they put up for us over there. If your digital TV receiver breaks now, you can't get a replacement because it's no longer available. And that's how things are. Electricity is the only thing. Electric power is the only thing that more or less works.
Yes, because Mariano told me you had a 125 electric power plant here.
We had electricity back in the 1940s, late 1930s, 1940s up until the 1950s. And then it closed. And then they installed the electric grid, the one we have now, in 1974.
In 74, huh?
Maybe we were first in that. First, yes, maybe one of the first towns to have electricity was Viboli in 74, around then. From then on there was, well, when electricity came, people started leaving. It became uninhabited because in 75 here at the school, there were 20 kids.
Only 20, huh? Yeah.
And suddenly it was empty.
Well, not just 20. 20 is a lot for this town.
Yeah, that's a lot. There were bars open, operating. Two bars open, doing well, yeah. And there were people, seriously, maybe there were 18 or 20 young men in the town.
You said maybe, huh? From Argentina, huh? Maybe. That really caught my attention.
And suddenly, in just a few years, it went bankrupt. And now we've had a few years where faith is really promoted a lot through social media, a lot of paradise, a lot of yes.
But nobody shows this.
But nobody comes to say, well, hey, let's solve this. This is what's needed. For example, we have the issue of the Belluscos Orrios, the ones that are so protected. And there is good support, I admit, there is good support from the principality in subsidies, but it doesn't acknowledge that there is no one to apply for them because the owners of the Orrios are no longer alive, they're no longer here. As for the Orrios owners, the few who are left either live elsewhere or have died. So these things have to come from the regional government.
Here we have one as well.
Yes, this one and the one in the back, it's made from a single tree, that one over there. And they just went and put an electric pole there and nobody cared to look at those things. How sad. There's a lot of talk and stories on social media, but nobody pays attention to them. And it's been requested for years to have the pole changed. At one point, they asked for that light pole to be moved, the one they put right in front of the granary. They never came to see, check, or change it. The granary is falling apart and it's going to collapse.
The thing is, I think now when you know that the owners can't restore it, ask for help, it should be the regional government, right? The one to take the initiative, of course.
Or the city council, which has job training workshops. Every year they have job training workshops. Well, this year, let's fix the granaries. Then there are people who use them, who need them. Well, we give them to them in usufruct in exchange under the condition that they have to maintain them, but not let them fall apart.
Of course, because it's also a very unique storehouse. It's a storehouse that's only found in this area.
It's a small granary with a gabled roof, and it's only from this area. They say there are storehouses like this in the Palentina Mountains near Palencia. So the people who lived here would be originally from this area?
From what I understand, from what I've been told, I hope I'm not mistaken, I think I just heard it somewhere, the gabled granary was one of the earliest types there were. Then the four-sided roof style came in, which was more modern, and they started to change. And in this area, it's like they kept the tradition of how the storehouse used to be.
It's possible. It's possible because, like I said, people who come here and work with storehouses, with paneras and all that, told me, look, this type of storehouse exists in the Palencia Mountains. Of course. There were storehouses of this type.
I've seen them myself in photos.
There are some of these storehouses in Oceja de Sacambre. In the municipality of Poca, there are barely any others besides these. Yes.
I've known of some that have collapsed.
Huh? Yes, I remember that in this town there were 2 that I knew, and down there I knew 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, I knew 10, 8 granaries, and now there are 3 left.
And now there are 3 left. Well, let's hope that because of this video and afterwards,
This one that's in the back, that one, the one I'm telling you about in particular, it's right behind the light post. That one is made from a single tree. They say the whole granary is made from a single tree, all of it, okay? The support post and everything.
I want to clarify something because I know I say it in all my videos, but well, there are people watching us who are new to the channel. The granary, I want to clarify what it is. It's a raised granary. Of course, of course. It was where all the food was stored, the grain. Well, a lot of things were done there.
So mice couldn't reach it. That's right.
Because of the stone discs it has, specifically the ones we see here. That prevents the mouse from climbing up the stick, up the support post called the pegolo. I want to clarify that since people already know it.
I don't have it, but it was said that, for example, if the pergola was made of stone, the land was municipal, it belonged to the state, right? If the pergola was wooden, it meant private property, a private orchard.
Well, look, I have another theory about that which someone told me. If you want, I can tell you about it. Look, when it was made of stone, it meant that the land belonged to the owner of the granary. Because in the past, the only property people had was the granary. In other words, people didn't own their houses, they only owned the granary. And so they would move to the area where they had to work, and the only thing they would take with them was the granary for the harvest. Because they were itinerant, they moved frequently. Yes, the area with stone was theirs, they had bought the land. And the area with wood, which wasn't rigid, which wasn't permanent, was the one that belonged to someone else.
I don't get it the other way, but okay, no.
It could be feasible.
No, it's more feasible, more reasonable, what, right?
You think? I'm open to everything, huh? No, no.
No, I see what you're saying as more reasonable. Let it be like that. That the stone one is privately owned. I mean, of the yes.
Yes, I'll ask. Don't worry, I'll ask.
I always have that doubt because I've heard people talk about it, but I haven't gotten any confirmation. And then, well, like I said, the place is...
Paradisiacal. Yes, and well, you've already seen...
The town is very beautiful.
You've seen it already. Too bad I can't record with a drone.
The tranquility is fabulous. People can come here to get some fresh air, and the best time of year to visit is autumn. Autumn because of the uniqueness, the type of trees here, and the color of the leaves. Red, yellow, brown, a lot of colors. And then you're here sitting at 7 in the evening and you hear the bellowing.
Of course, you must have plenty here, right?
A lot of deer up here.
Bears? Do you have any bears?
Some tracks were seen passing over there by that mountain, but they were heading to a place back there called Lue.
Yes, I know the story. The problem is they won't let me film with a drone and you can't get in.
There's a book that's about Lue. It's called Martino Gel de Lue.
I know.
His wife had passed away there. I know. Grandpa was a caretaker there in Lue. My grandpa was a caretaker with his children. He had 8 or 10 kids, and they lived there in Lue.
I'd love to tell that story, but I have a few problems. One is the area seems restricted because of that. Another thing is that you can't even fly a drone, because I would love to at least tell the story and be able to show it with a drone, but no, that's not possible either.
I don't know, how could it be done? Because there's another little village right next to it. It's called Talivia.
We'll discuss this later, don't worry.
I think the government pays for some permits.
You and I will talk about it later.
It should be easy, yes.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
It's about promoting and protecting at the same time, of course. It's not just about promoting so it gets overcrowded. It's a way to protect it, of course, so people can see it on YouTube without actually going in there. So people see it, say, wow, what a relic.
At least they can see it visually through a video.
How beautiful it is, yes.
One last topic I wanted to discuss, if you want, is the chapel and the festivals you used to have in this village. Do you still have festivals?
This festival is still held. Yes, I think this year they're having it on the 15th. Here it was St. Ignatius. The town is Bivoli, but the saint was St. Ignatius. Okay, this is a chapel because it belongs to the parish of Viego. This is Viego's neighborhood, so bring that. And that's why it doesn't have a church, like for example Casilla, which does have a church. There was a chapel here for the saint, where the Saint's Day was celebrated on October 2nd. Later they moved it and started celebrating it in July, at the beginning of July. And then they kept moving it. Well, now it's held whenever it works out.
And what if there are a lot of people?
In recent years, yes, they've done it sometimes because maybe 200 or 300 people gather here. They have a barbecue for everyone and all that. And a lot of people come up.
That's great, huh? To be able to bring it to life, even if it's just for one day.
You get a nice day and all that. People come up, yeah?
Well, I really appreciate everything you've said, honestly, because without oral histories like yours...
Because the main point is to drive it home. The issue is the neglect we've suffered from every administration, city council, regional government, central government. I don't make distinctions. That they remember these places, Dad. This year they didn't even come get the ballot papers so voting could open, since they know there are a few of us.
Do you know what I think? They want you out of the villages because that's where you're free. And they want you out. That's the conclusion I've drawn from all of this.
That's how it is. Honestly, I don't know. I also often think that maybe it has to remain as a green lung so that wolves and bears can live there, and so on, which makes sense. The people who live there, we have to protect the elderly who don't have services. For example, if tomorrow I feel bad for several days, the road was blocked for my sister 2 years ago. That's just how it is. She fainted one day at home. A helicopter had to come because it was snowed in, the road couldn't be used, and when it snows, we spend 15 or 20 days with the road blocked. Since the landslides come down, you have to wait for them all to finish before bringing in the bulldozer to clean up. You can't use the bulldozer because it's dangerous, so you'll need another solution.
Yes, there are solutions there.
Or open a road. For example, one solution for this village, part of the municipality of Ponga, is that it lacks direct access to San Juan de Beleno, the capital where the clinic is. A direct access would be through here, over this upper pass, which is very feasible, and it would provide direct access, for example, to the clinic and the town hall.
Yes, just allowing that kind of passage. Yes.
Allow it only for village residents? Yes, access should be for those living there. Since it's restricted for people who travel through the mountains, only people who are registered with the municipality can go through. So that's it. So we have roads for the people who are there, forest services and things like that, and for people who live or have a house in the villages.
Well, honestly, I hope that all these things you ask for and emphasize so much.
I invite everyone to come. This is wonderful. At least for me, I love it. And the peace you feel being here, the place, you know, the air you breathe. Yes, it's pure.
I hope many people come to see you because of this video.
My kids live away from here in Madrid. My daughter lives there, and I usually go visit them and all that. But when I come back here, I know that nothing happens.
Congratulations on living here. You're one of the few. Thank you for talking with me, really. Thanks a lot. Well, folks, I'm going to end the video here. Mariano, thank you so much again for being in one of my videos. And I'm going to spend the night, tonight I'm going to spend the night here with Mariano and with Enol to take advantage of this peace and quiet in the mountains. I need to rest because tomorrow I'm heading near Leon and I want to get a good night's sleep. And I think this is the perfect place for that. I'd like you to say goodbye and send greetings to anyone you want. If there's someone you'd like to greet, now's your chance.
Well then, hello, Angel.
Greetings. Very good. Mariano, would you like to greet anyone? Okay.
As for me, well, I want to thank all the people who keep watching all these videos that we keep appearing in. And well, thank you all. That on one hand, that there has been a lot of cooperation, that this serves to, well, leave a record of what is a part of the past.
That are already disappearing.
Many things no longer exist, but, well, it's something that will be very valuable for generations to come. Because thanks to today's technology, we can show what these towns are and what they used to be.
All right, Mariano, that's it. I'll end the video here. Please subscribe. It's free and really helps me. See you next time.